Hi, I'm JMO from a company called Xcase. Find us on the web at www.xcase.co.uk. Right, this one's all about storage and Barebones server systems. Now, the standard configuration for you to build up a storage server is to go and buy a chassis with a power supply, or buy a power supply separately. Grab a motherboard, your processors, your memory, your drives, cables, put it all together, turn the switch on, and oh poop, it don't work. So then you've got to go through each of your parts and components, working out what's not actually working. So that's all very time consuming, annoying, expensive with returns and RMAs, etc., etc. So what if there's a different way? What if everything just turned up working? And you just simply turn the switch on, added your drives, and got on with your life. Well, hopefully, we're going to show you a new way. We're calling them EasyStore, and this is the EasyStore ST36. And it's a dual processor Xeon E5 version 4 Barebones system that comes complete with motherboard, redundant power supply, LSI embedded chip, SAS expander backplane, 36 hot swap trays, rear 2.5-inch caddies, and the most simple setup you'll ever get to. So first of all, let's take a look at this. Kind of the main component, I guess. This is the motherboard tray, and it's removable. So I'll just pop off the lid. And about, 5 minutes ago, I grabbed a processor and a stick of memory, fitted them to this particular unit. And realistically, once I've placed this within the server, and I'll show you how in a minute, all I've got to do is turn it on and add drives. So let me go over the basics. There's no cables, none. Not a cable in sight. It's all this very clever modular system. And you can see some connectors here. And they connect directly into the main chassis without cables, connecting everything to the power supply, the backplane, without, as said, a single cable in sight. So you buy your processor, or you buy one off us, and you fit it, or we fit it. You buy some memory, and then on this particular version, which is quite nice, you'll see that you've got two places here. If I just tilt this up slightly, hopefully you'll see there's a riser card and dual expansion slots for each section, and underneath which is a PCI Express x16 slot, and you can fit a GPU card in here and a GPU card in here. Now that gives you two full height double width cards. Admittedly, they can't be long cards, but there are some very powerful shorter cards on the market. And another option is, if you want a longer card, just to simply take away the included passive cooler, buy a 1U active cooler, and that will give you further length. So let's just go over the other basics of the board. It's got an M.2 connector. It's got 16 memory slots, dual processors. Now hopefully, let's see if I can see that in there. You see that little card there, which is fitted into a slot on the motherboard. Now that's the LSI controller, and that's connected to the backplane, which is an expander backplane on both front and rear of the chassis for your 36 drives. And that controls everything. Now that's not hardware RAID, that's software RAID, so it's fine if you want storage pools or ZFS or something like that. But if you're a bit old school and you want proper hardware RAID, there is an option. You use one of these PCI Express slots. You take this card out, you put this card in, and you fit something like an 8-port RAID card into here and cable it up to this, which then connects directly to the expander backplanes, controlling all the drives in hardware RAID mode. But as standard, it comes with this LSI HBA type card to control all the drives. So I'll just turn it round, and you'll see just a couple of levers here. This comes as standard with 4 LAN ports, a remote access port, a couple of USB 3s, and just your monitor entry there. Just while I'm at the front of the case, you've got your power switch on the left hand side here, and you've got your normal lights for hard drive activity. That's just for the rear 2 caddies, and LAN port light activity, and an ID light which lights up the rear of the chassis so it's easy to find if it's in the data center. Caddies themselves, nice attractive caddies, well vented, well sprung. They'll take a 3.5-inch drive as fitted here. They'll also take 2.5-inch drives, and they'll take SATA, SAS or SSD. Comes with lots of nice stickers, numbered, so you can put those on each drive to letter it up, so you know exactly where it is. But the drives do have the ability to show faulty drives and drive location through SGPIO. So, right, I'll get to the good bit now. Let's make some space. Now, you probably think this is bloody expensive. It's bloody heavy, I know that. And you'll see the rear hard drive, so there's 12 at the rear, 24 at the front. And you'll see that there's 2.5-inch caddies here. Now, they are just for SATA drives, and they connect directly to the motherboard's Intel SATA. And so you could do a simple mirror RAID with those. And again, there's no cables or anything. They just use the same modular system to connect to it. there's an 800 watt platinum redundant power supply, and currently there's a big hole in the back. So let me just get our motherboard tray. Normally I'd just put the lid back on it, but as it takes about 2 minutes to screw it on, I won't bother for now. Then we just push that in, shut the levers, job done. So now, if I wanted, now I probably will in fact, now, some people bother about noise, some people don't, depends where it is. But that's its standard noise level now. You'll see there's a green light there. Now, that's constantly green. And then above that, that will flicker away as well for hard drive activity. Above that there's a blue light, which is just for drive location. And it will also give you different signals depending on what's wrong with your hard drive. So, unfortunately this is in an area that's not connected to a monitor, but I'll do a second video later on. I'll just come up here because it's nice and light. Up in our warehouse. As you see, there's a little green power light. And there's a little warning explanation light there. That's because I've only got one of the redundant power switches connected. On the other side there is a couple of front USBs. I'll shut it down for now. And the whole kit comes, as said, with your passive heat sinks. It comes with your rail kit to mount it, and all the screws etc. required to get things up and running. Price wise, well, it's a bit of a bad time because we're just going through Brexit, but when we start importing these over properly, we'll hope to be selling them out at around about £12.95 excluding taxes. So that's a complete system with your controller, your motherboard tray, your passive heat sinks, and you just have to really add your memory, processor and drives. Now if you work that out against a Supermicro chassis, just a standard 36 bay chassis on its own without the motherboard and etc. is more money. Lastly, it's just worth mentioning that the redundant power supplies have a kind of battery mode to them, and so if the power gets disconnected they carry on running for an extra 60 seconds or something like that. Not a long time, but it could just save things if you have a quick trip of the electricity. Anyway, thanks for listening. Bye for now.